Recently, I have defined about my customer avatars who are Rehana and Irfan. And today, customer, let's see, Irfan called me saying that he wants to quit from his job, and he wanted some advice from me as a performance optimization mentor. So I had two options. Like say, I have been watching Irfan. Uh, like say, his name is not Irfan, but he's my customer type, who is a trendsetter, and who is an innovative person, who is ahead of his skill set comparative to his age and his designation in the company, and who is basically a hugely resourceful and dependable person in the company. So that is my customer type. So that is why I refer to him as Irfan. So Irfan today called me asking my advice for, like say, he is going to quit his job shortly and start his own enterprise, which he always had a dream of. So, so hi Sagar, thank you for joining. And like say, my customer type always wants to set up an independent enterprise, and that is my customer type. So, I know in mind, but setting up another organization means again becoming part of that organization, right? So, if one doesn't qualify right now to be part of an organization, how can one manage one's own organization? Maybe he can be the leader and he will call all the shots, but again, it will be an organization, and all the rules of an organization and all the predicaments of an organization will be applicable for that organization also. So that is why I kind of ask Irfans to to qualify for becoming an owner of an enterprise before he sets off for setting up a new enterprise of his own. So the basically his thing was time management, and he was not able to manage his time. Commitment being his priority. So once he commits for something, he actually goes by it. So whatever time frame he commits to, he stands by that time frame, no matter actually whether it is realistically possible or not. So what he does is he takes for granted the time of his colleagues and the time of his family members. So he doesn't have any committed time frame for his family members. That is point number one. And he actually doesn't expect that his colleagues will be committed family persons as well. So that is the basically the shadow part of being a committed person. So I offered him two advices. One is to manage the boss, because his boss, because of his nature of being a committed person, what he does is he assigns any task, no matter whether it is evening, it is at night, or whatever time. So I advised him to discuss with him, maybe over a phone call. Whenever he is assigning the task, he has to take the deadline. When is the deadline? So if it is say next fifth day of assignment of the task, then he has to realistically calculate how much time he has. The second thing is the clarity of the assignment. So many times he has complained from beforehand that he does something after the assignment of the task, and when he completes the task after 2 days, actually it is not the desirable task that he the boss had in mind. So I asked him to take a actually he has to, if the boss is not able to give him an outline of what he expects, he should from his side he would sketch the entire outline himself and WhatsApp to the boss. asking him to actually uh, confirm that this is the particular task to be assigned in this manner, that he has to um, say confirm that. So in this way what will happen is, he the boss will know that for sure he is very sure of his task, and he is also very particular about his time. It will not happen in a day, but it will take some time. And uh, during which he has to also deal with his junior colleagues, his teammates. When he gets one task, he has to assign the delegate the task also, distribute that task also amongst his team members. So there are two aspects of office management. The first is dealing with the boss, and the second is like say his own time frame. The third is dealing with the team members. Team members may be the peers or the juniors. So assignment of this task also involves like their time, right? So now he has to take care of those times. So I advised him about having a team meeting every day at the start of the day. They should take their tea cups to the conference room, and along with a notebook. I advise him to maintain a separate notebook, a sketchbook maybe, and he should like say outline the entire work and the segments of that work to be assigned to whom. A, B, C, D, E are the colleagues, and A gets a certain kind of task, B gets certain kind of task, and the timeline with which they should come back with the completed task. And in between, if there is some team interaction required, then that has to be also like say identified and properly mentioned in the sketchbook, that this is the intermediary meeting time when everybody should come together and evaluate the progress of the work and the quality of the work and the various difficulties in executing that work. So that will actually systematize everything, and there will be no overtime in executing that task. And the sacrifice of the team members so conveniently we take for granted, that will also not happen. And also this will help him, what he will save his time in learning something new. He is already capable of executing whatever task will be assigned to him, but he will not continue with the same skill set for the next 5 years or so. Even for the next year, he has to upgrade himself with his skill sets, and for that he requires time. And if he has ultimately to set up one enterprise for himself, so he has to work on that also. Setting up of one's own enterprise doesn't happen in a day. It has to be started from somewhere, and it has to be taken into a particular shape, after which one can take his time. Like say he has to be 100% committed for that. Before that, there's a lot of preparatory work to be done, and that requires time. Unless one has that time, one cannot move towards having that goal. So if the time management is not done properly, time management will not happen unless one manages one's boss, one's team's colleagues, and he will not also qualify in the eyes of his teammates as a proper manager. So nobody will join him when he sets up his own enterprise. So those credibilities are to be surely established. So these are the non-tangible kind of characteristics of a manager, of a leader, of a team trendsetter, which needs to be established prior, much before the establishment of one's own enterprise. So these characteristics require practice, and it is just a little change of one's perception, behavior, action, and attitude. And one needs to identify, pinpoint as to where this change can be taken up. Yeah, so this is what I teach. This is part of my course. And of course I understand that this has to be one to one, like say everybody's problem has to be very different, but there are some basic practice which needs to be done by everybody, each professional. So that is part of my course which I teach. That is a preparatory course to be undertaken before one qualifies to be a entrepreneur. So that needs to be taken, and that is part of my performance optimization course, which is mentioned in the link, which anybody can take, and anybody anytime can enroll into it and enrich oneself. Thank you.